I'm the one who created the watchful eye, and it's not even complete. And these kids stole it and did whatever the hell they did with it. I've never even seen any technology or money for it or anything. These kids are just stealing from me and putting it in some game or selling it somewhere. And they're doing something illegal. But I created the whole thing. Corona didn't help. Thomas didn't help. Westcott didn't help. Paul Dami didn't help. Kayvon Amadi didn't help. No one helped. I made it myself. And whoever these people are pretending they made it are some of the people involved with this hostage scenario: economic espionage, IP theft, organized crime, RICO, terrorism, and more. I made the whole thing. It's not even complete. And these guys are still stealing and stalking me. And I mean, what is this nonsense where these kids are getting away with it? IP theft, economic espionage, and more. I make these ideas myself. No one gives them to me or creates them for me. I make these ideas, these documents, and then people steal them and give them access, give them to engineers I'm supposed to have access to that I never had access to. So that's a key piece of this. But yeah, I made the watchful eye. I made the reconnaissance. I made all these things, and these people are just stalking me and stealing from me and pretending everything I create and do, they did. Don't fall for bullshit. I made SignalFace multi-factor authentication system with real-time video, and it's not just 4 biometric verification steps. There's all sorts of jazz involved with it. I made the whole corporate custom security isolator, distortion, chip secure program, all sorts of jazz that people don't get. Custom business Wi-Fi, all sorts of jazz. So these guys are lying about everything and stealing trillions of dollars. And I even explained to the Intellectual Property Rights Commission the value of these ideas. They're stealing alternative energy ideas. They're stealing battery ideas, battery systems. They've been stealing all sorts of stuff. I've been reporting to law enforcement daily on a regular basis about this, especially Intellectual Property Rights Commission. I've been reporting to IC3 since 2017 about stolen property and about hacking since 2016. And even the Attorney General in New York about people hacking me. And that was like 2016. So I don't know what the hell these kids are doing, but they're stalking me, stealing intellectual property and giving them access to, giving them, and giving it my ideas to engineers and others that I was supposed to have access to that I never had access to. And I'd never even seen this game. And these kids are just stealing. They're stealing science ideas, business ideas, tech ideas. They're stealing raps, guitar songs. They're committing economic espionage and more. So I'm not sure what the hell is going on that no one tells me about, but these kids are stealing property and selling it for money. They're stealing property and stealing gifts or whatever they talk about. So there's all sorts of illegal shit going on that makes zero sense to me because no one ever told me this part of the stuff. They just were trying to lure me into something that I didn't agree with. And that was terrorism, and I reported it. And now there's all these criminals involved in their terrorist organization pretending they wrote my DOJ letters, pretending they wrote all my letters to law enforcement. And people aren't arresting these guys and actually letting terrorists pretend that they wrote my letters and not putting them in prison. So that's another key piece of this. And how the hell are these guys not in prison? I wrote my first DOJ letter in 2018, late 2017, IC3, and mid to early 2018, the DOJ. And then I made my DOJ letter, the long one that's 1,000 or more pages. I made that in 2019 and kept adding and then kept sending as I added. And then I made even a new one, a third one with even more information and even new additions. And I've been sending that to law enforcement too. So I'm not sure what's going on, but these kids are still firing weapons at me from a satellite. There's some little fucker shocking me right here, right now. It's either on my chest wall or in my heart. Can't tell. Well, there's one in my heart, and then there's something near my heart. Yeah, I just felt the little mild baby pain, but they're doing it low grade. But these kids are still committing crimes, and they have some community of terrorists who pretend to be on my team but aren't, and actually tip off suspects in my letters to try to course crime and murder on me. So whoever these kids are pretending to be on my team aren't. There are some of these kids who are actually contacting terrorists and criminals involved in terrorism and organized crime, IP theft, economic espionage, and tipping them off. So how are these kids not in prison for tipping off terrorists involved in organized crime and terrorism, or at least key suspects? Whoever the hell they're tipping off, because that's a piece of this. There's some of these kids actually will like sell my letters to criminals and terrorists that they steal from my computer, and even let some of the criminals and terrorists who are suspects in my letters steal my letters and pretend my letters are theirs. So that's even more crazy. How are these kids not in prison?